Hello, greetings everybody. This is going to be your orientation video for CS202. We're going to discuss class plans and assignments, and essentially everything's pretty much in module 0. How to submit your or format your homework is essentially the same as what you did in 102. You're going to, with the exception of you're not going to have tutorials that you need to submit. You're only going to be submitting your programming assignments. However, I suggest doing every tutorial that we've got time. Make sure that you use it, because essentially we go through a chapter every 2 weeks. You've got enough time to put the effort into getting all the tutorials completed, with the exception of chapter 11. You don't really need to do the tutorials if you go with an alternate assignment. However, if you go with a book assignment, you will need to do those tutorials. So this essentially is how to format your homework. I want you to choose your own naming convention. You do not need to use your initials for this course. Basically, you can come up with Hungarian notation or Camelback, whatever you choose. So for your programming assignments, make sure that you take the working program, test the input and outputs for your screenshot. That means I want to see you actually test every portion of your code and show it on a screenshot or screenshots. And then of course you're going to copy and paste your code into a Word document or any kind of document. It could be a ODT, Office, or Pages doesn't work unless you convert it over to like a PDF. So you can submit a PDF from Macintosh Pages, but any kind of regular Office type document will work just fine for submitting your homework. And you will always have the chance to resubmit. So that means due dates are kind of soft, but I want to make sure that you know the due dates are important for you to follow. If you get too far behind, what it ended up happening is I get a lot of submissions like maybe the last week of the quarter, and the problem with that is you're not going to have the time to redo if you get a 0. And that's why you want to stay up on due dates. You've got the best of all worlds here. You get to resubmit your assignments for full points. So don't be late. Get your programming assignments done. The whole goal of this course is for you to be basically be able to write code. That's kind of where we've done the memorization type routines. This whole course is designed on not test-based assessment. It's more on writing code assessment. You need to be able to program. So essentially, that is how your modules are all set up, and your grading percentages are set up in that manner. So it's not like CS102 where you have a lot of points for your assessments. So essentially, your largest component for your assignments is your 60% total here. So these are very important for your grade. Now your quizzes are kind of like an afterthought. You're not going to actually have a test on your quiz questions. You're going to have your quizzes that'll help you with content that is in your book, the type of memorization type details, but the questions from your quizzes will not be in some kind of final or assessment. So I believe I set it up so that you can do your quizzes twice. Yes, you can do your quizzes twice. Make sure you do them. If you do it once and you get full score, there's no reason to do it again, because again, you're not going to be studying towards a test. It's going to be where you're going to see your quiz questions on it again. So most of your one assessment is going to be based. It's a performance-based assessment. Based on object-oriented programming, and then you have your other portion of your assessment, which is also performance-based, which is your final project. Now, phase 1 and 2 are designed basically so that essentially the way the course is designed is if you've got problem getting the final project, which is fairly, in a lot of ways, it's difficult for some people. There's a lot of extra credit available for you to be able to pass the class by just getting a good on your assessment, phase 1 and phase 2. And I've even had students not even turn in phase 3 because they've done some of the extra credit that's available. I believe there's extra credit available in 10B, and you have extra credit, this one, linked list extra credit. That's actually a huge amount of extra credit. So if you're planning, or if you're having problems with phase 3, you must do this linked list extra credit. It's 5%. It's worth 5% of your grade. So that means let's say you get a 3.0. If you get all the linked list steps done, that'll turn into a 3.5. Your final project is important, but it's not the only route to being able to pass this course with a 2.5 or greater, which is what you're looking for. Now, this participation one won't be available to you, and this linked list one will be available to you, as well as the extra credit. I believe it's in 10B for dynamic binding. Other than that, this is pretty much the course of what you're going to be completing. Your assessment will be something that you can self-proctor. Now, I'm going to probably for those of you who are having problems with self-proctoring, let me know and we can figure something out. Other than that, let's see, we've got your modules. We're going to be starting with Chapter 7, PowerPoint, and lecture on references. And you have 2 weeks to complete 7A and 7B. And again, you can resubmit as many times as needed to get your full 40 points. There are some times where I will give half points instead of a 0, because your assignments are pass-fail essentially. So what you're going to do is either get it all the way or you get no points. If you are, though, I find that you're kind of on the right track and you're almost there, I will do half points just to kind of give you some encouragement instead of seeing a 0 after maybe 1 or 2 submissions. So make sure that you, when you come to a chapter, do all the tutorials in every chapter. Then tackle your assignments. You're going to have 2 weeks for each chapter. So 7A would be week 1 for chapter 7. 7B will be week 2 for chapter 7. Disregarding chapter 6 is only 1 week. So just spend 1 week on chapter 6. That would be this coming week. And, starting on Monday of our first week of the quarter, complete chapter 6, get it done by the end of the week. And hopefully on the weekend, you can be starting on 7. A and B, and you'll be finding at least one video. There's several videos in each. There's going to be several videos in each assignment area. I'm going to be posting videos that are going to be based on the PowerPoint, and there's also some other supplemental videos that you'll be seeing in each module area. So each module is 2 weeks, 1 week for 8A and 1 week for 8B. Do all the tutorials, and then we will get into starting out with your project. Remember the quizzes. Yes, they are important, but they're not crucial. Phase 2 will be coming up, and of course, when you do your phases, make sure you get them in early so that I can give you feedback so you could resubmit them for full points. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are things that you can redo and resubmit for full points after any kind of input from me. Now, the one thing that you cannot do is resubmit Phase 3, because that would be towards the end of the quarter. Make sure that if you have issues, I'm thinking that maybe Phase 3 might be a little bit more than you're able to tackle, which is okay. Then you can get into linked lists, extra credit. And one nice thing about this is I've got 3 videos that are set up real well for you to get through this portion. So this course is very doable if you apply yourself. Make sure that you put in at least. When I was learning programming, I literally would come home and spend at least at the very minimum 4 hours a night, and that was most days of the week. learning to program. It's not easy. It's a different way of thinking. And practice makes perfect. It's the old 10,000 hours rule. Anything that you spend 10,000 hours on, you are an expert. I've got more than 10,000 hours. So just make sure that you put the time in. You have to put the time in. You've got to be come up with a routine that works for you, and as needed, adjust your routine as you progress through the course. Now the syllabus is laid out here. There's not really much to go through other than your book. Those of you who are going to be late on your book, yes, it's okay that you turn in your assignments late. Remember, I've got soft due dates because you are able to resubmit every programming assignment as you need till the end of the quarter. That means is, again, don't be late. Try to get things done early. And if you have a problem getting your book in on time, make sure you rent it, or you can rent it. There's PDFs out there you can rent or buy. There's VitalSource you can use. That's one thing that I use that works real well is VitalSource for online books, and they have our book that you'll be using if you wish to rent or buy the textbook. If you're running late with your book getting in, you can rent it. Also, you can buy the textbook from the CBC bookstore, which they will also deliver to your doorstep. Other than that, make sure that the week before, send me questions about the week ahead, and it would be helpful if you actually get through reading the chapter. At least read the chapter, the whole chapter, and by reading, it's okay to skim because you're not going to be getting in depth for the chapter until you do your tutorials. But try to come up with some questions for me for the next chapter before the next week comes. Other than that, I think we've covered everything that you need to know. Make sure you read everything in here. One thing about student discussions, they are for students. I am not notified by anything that happens in the discussion area. So if you want to contact me, make sure you email me or send a Canvas message. If there's things that you want to see in a video, send me questions for the video. If you're having problems with code, we have a tutor that's available. I'll be posting that through Canvas, his availability. And also, if you want to see me do something as a video, send that out to me. Now, there are some things that I will do and won't do, and that is I won't help you do your assignment. That's something that you have to do on your own. Essentially, it's really kind of a bad thing to say, but my best instructor didn't teach me anything. He just pointed in a direction for me to run towards. As soon as you learn how to learn, that's it. That's what we're trying to get you to. So I'll do the best I can to help point you in a direction, and I will be a lot better than he was. But send me messages, send me emails. I can also Zoom with you with some code that you're having a problem with, such as if you're having a specific issue with a project, send me a request for a Zoom meeting, and we'll set up a date and a time. What you will need to do is make sure that you zip your project, and this would work on another account, but what you do to zip a project is just right click on your project folder, say send to compressed zip folder, and then you would email that to me. Now, if you're using Google or something like that, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go into your bin debug, and you're going to have to delete this .exe. Anything with .exe in it, Google will just say, no, I'm not going to do this because it could be a possible virus. But you could just delete this file, and then come back to your folder. And once those files are deleted, then you can zip it and email it to me, and I'll have everything that I need to open up your project and compile it. And I'll probably do a Zoom screen share with you when we come up with our appointment, and help you through the problems as best as I can. All right, I'm looking forward to a good quarter, and again, you'll be getting your first Chapter 7 PowerPoint video starting by next week. I'll probably have it done sometime this week and posted. Try to stay a week ahead if you can on your reading at least, and make sure you complete all your tutorials. Thank you.